There it is. Hey guys, how's it going? It's I, the real Randy Chavez. It's a new area location today. I have so much stuff to do. I can't stop home for a while, so I'm doing this at the office. Giovanni's Persian, first edition PSA 8, sold for $84. For Alligator number 4, this is the one that is easier to grade. It is more common. Not as good artwork in my opinion. First edition PSA 9 sold for $370. Big move for that. That's a record price point for that card. Aerodactyl first edition PSA 9 from Fossil Set sold for $126. Ditto from Fossil Set first edition PSA 9 sold from $136. Haunter, a lot of these are Fossil. Haunter first edition PSA 9 sold for $133. It's crazy that Ditto got more than Haunter. I don't know what's wrong with this world. Gengar first edition PSA 9 sold for $276. Hypno first edition PSA 9 sold for $120. We had a Kabutops first edition PSA 9 sold for $130. Magneton first edition PSA 9 sold for $101. A lot of these are really low. I'm not 100% sure why. Moltres first edition PSA 9 sold for $243. A Zapdos from the Fossil Set as well. First edition PSA 9 sold for $257. We had another Giovanni's Gyarados first edition PSA 10. This was mine that sold for $750. I had a couple of sales. I had a Lieutenant Surge's Jolteon and a Koga's Pidgey, both of them first edition PSA 10. Together I sold them for $180, I think. And then I had a another one, 3 from the Rocket set. There was a Dark Slowbro, Dark Vileplume, and like Dark something else. They were first edition PSA 10. They were non-hollows. That sold for $180 as well. Moving on, we had alright, so this Persian, a Dark Persian, the Japanese version, where you can really see like Giovanni's eyes in the back. It's Giovanni's Persian, pretty much. From Nintendo Magazine, it's from like 1997. PSA 10, again, there's like 18 of these in the world. There's so few of them. And the top 3 bids were me at $175, which honestly I think this should be a $1,000 card minimum. I would have bet more on this, but I fell asleep. I've been getting a bunch of sleep recently, so I fell asleep. I missed the whole PWCC block, and the rest of these are from PWCC auction. Top 2 bids were $255 and $256. That is a record price point, but again, I feel this is incredibly undervalued, like dumb undervalued. Excuse me. Ninetales first edition PSA 9 sold for $1,249, just shy of that $1,250 mark. Record price point for that card. For that, I saw these selling for like $700, $800, $900. Like, it's too low. $1,249 I think is a better price point for it, because again, the 10s are going to be heckin' ridiculous. Venusaur first edition PSA 9. 2 of these hit the market at once. Again, at PWCC, one sold for $3.3K, the other sold for $3.4K. They were both record set. Like, again, the first one that ended, $3.3K. The second one that ended like a minute later, $3.4K. So this is something that we haven't seen past the $2,600-$2,800 mark, at least. And 2 of them hit the market at once, at the same time, within a couple minutes of each other. New record price points, both of them. It's insane. We had a Shadowless Charizard PSA 9. It had a new cert number, and it did look very good, but... Alright, so here are the top few bids. There's $5,000, $5,100, $5,300, $5,400, $5,600, $5,700. So a bunch of these people are bidding between $500 and $5,700. And these guys didn't even... Alright, the top 2 bids did not even have like a little bit of feedback. They had a lot of feedback. One had like 400, one had like a couple thousand. And you're looking at $84.15 and $85.15. So these 2 took it an extra $2,700 past what would have been a record price point, and they just kept going one up in each other. Might have been because of a new cert number. Might have been I don't even want to say it's because they're new to this, because their feedback alludes to the fact that they have so much experience in this that they knew what they were doing. Maybe they saw that, again, new cert number and something that they just wanted to be the one to do it. Maybe who has bigger balls or dick measuring contest. I don't know. I'll see you later, Brian. But either way, that is a record price point by several $1,000s. In which case, I don't know if the 8s are going to follow, or if the... Again, this is just for Shadow. It's not first edition, which is insane. So any BGS 9, like my own, that I'm selling for like $5,500 or $5,000, should be able to get that price point very, very easily, because you're going to see a lot of movement with the 8s and probably the 10s because of this new record price point. Again, this wasn't just a random thing. This wasn't shill bid. This was people that knew what the fuck they were doing, and people that just didn't care. They just wanted this card. Again, might have been new cert number. It looked great. I doubt they're going to crack it to regrade. But either way, new price point. We also had a Pinsir first edition PSA 9, sold for $174. Snorlax first edition PSA 9, sold for $431. Pre-release Clefable, PSA 7, record price point of 605. I still think that's undervalued. The 8, in my opinion, should be minimum 1,000 because, again, there are no 10s in the pop report. Even if there was a 10 graded, I would not trust that to be a true 10. It would definitely be the weakest 10 of all time because the most you get is, I think there's 38 PSA 9s, something like that. Again, I have one of the few 8s that are out there, and I think minimum $1,000. But either way, is the record price point for the 7. Blaine's Charizard. This is going to give you a good idea on how powerful a PWCC auction is versus how ineffective a bad listing is. I value Blaine's Charizard. If we're going based on the data, I say minimum $4,000 to $4,500, $4,000 to $4,500. But when someone has a shitty listing like they did a couple weeks ago, where it was sideways, there's only 2 pictures, the buyer didn't have a lot of feedback, it only had 3 bids. My friend Demetrius got it for $3,500, which is a freaking steal. If that goes through, he's got to let me know if it does. But that's the worst way of doing an auction. The best way of doing it, or one of the best ways, PWCC. No other Blaine's Charizard First Edition PSA 10 was on this auction block, so this had the spotlight. And you're looking at the top, let's say 8 bids were $3,700 was me. I was like, if I can get this under 4K, I'm getting it. And as soon as I bid that, $3,750, $3,900, another $3,900, $3,950, $4,000, and $4,050. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 7 bids between that $37 and $4,050. And the last one, the last 2, the top 2 were $4,611 and $4,661. So you're looking at, again, these aren't record price points, but you're looking at a cluster of 7 people bidding between 37 and 4,100, and then the rest 46 and 4661. I'll probably sell mine between, at least one of mine between 4 and 4,500. I'll keep you guys posted on that. I don't want to. I honestly think it's worth more, but based on the sale, on the bets and biddings on the other people, I think it's just not there yet. So moving on past that, I have Lieutenant Surge's Raichu First Edition PSA 10 sold for $520. I still think that's very undervalued because, again, it is a Pikachu. It's like the 4th Raichu because you have base set, you have Fossil, and then you have Dark Raichu. That's the first secret rare, and then you have this one. So Lieutenant Surge's Raichu it's not the first, it's not rare or anything. It is within the set because it's a holo rare. But I think it's a little undervalued because it is a Raichu. That Pikachu evolution line, it's Lieutenant Surge's, and Lieutenant Surge's Raichu in the other Gym Hero set is not a holo. I think it might be rare, but that's it. It's not holo version. You're getting the Pokemon that literally fought in a war. Like, this is one of the only examples that we see where we have a human, one we just have a human reference the war, and then this is a Pokemon that we know fought in it. Not only fought, we don't know if it was a winning side or not, but he at least saved lives, probably got a couple of medals for that. Incredible. So the fact that you can get that in a card is insane, and the fact that it's only going for $520 where there's like less than 250 of them in the pop report, is a really good deal, whoever got it. Misty's Gyarados First Edition PSA 10 sold for $740. Again, this is at the PWCC auction, so this is the price that people are willing to pay right now. I sold mine for $750 maybe like a week ago, and then I have another one that is up right now. It's like $850 or best offer, which happens to be cheapest on eBay right now. But the person that bought the Misty's Gyarados and the Giovanni's Gyarados from me last week bought that other Giovanni's Gyarados from me before. I'm so jealous because this person is building a plethora, a giant, large base of, I don't know if it's just Gyaradoses or if it's Gym Challenge. Whatever this person's doing is cornering the market for the Gym Challenge Gyaradoses, which, again, I'm jealous. I will get these cards back eventually. I'll keep you guys posted on it. Rocket's Mewtwo First Edition PSA 9 sold for $295. So the fact that this sold for $295, the minimum it should get, if we go based on chart, is $885. I sold mine for $850 last week, and I freaking pissed at it because in my opinion, that's a $1,000 card. A minimum $1,000 card. I had it up for $1,300. Oh no, I think I sold it for $1,050. But yeah, either way, minimum, I think if we're doing $295, so $1,475 and $2,360 is probably what it should be if we go to the 5 to 8 times. But again, the lower end, it'll be 3 times what the 9 is selling for, which is, again, $885. So this has a lot of room to grow. If anyone wants to buy this, my recommendation, the PSA 10 version has a lot of room to grow. Rocket Zapdos first edition PSA 10 sold for $710. Again, I think that's also something that is approaching that $1,000 mark because it is, again, it's the third Zapdos, because you have one from base set, you have the one from Fossil set, and Gym Challenge, I don't know if it's because of the artwork, or it's because it's rarer, but it beats Fossil any day of the week. Doesn't matter the grade, that's what it does. If you put Fossil Zapdos versus Rocket Zapdos first edition, Rockets will always win. Again, it's just cool. The Gym Challenge box, this one I had boy, it was in like my box. It was in my cart for like $4,400, like maybe a year ago. It was 2019 when things were good, and the seller gave me so much like agita, really like some bad vibes, because I was looking at it and the sale wasn't going through, and the top 6 bids on this were $9,700, $9,900, $10,800, $12,000, and then the top 2 bids were both $12,000. So I don't know which one of them got it, but the fact that it tripled in a year is insane. Sorry guys, here we go. Moving on past that, Misty's Tentacruel first edition PSA 9 sold for $127. Lugia from Neo Genesis first edition PSA 8 sold for $848. Again, those have seen a bit of a retrace. They have gone up for $1,000. Retrace at $848. It's a good buy. Slowking first edition PSA 9 sold for $344. And then we had a T17 first edition BGS 9, where the corners and surface were 9.5, the centering was a 9, but the edges were an 8.5. That only got $1,880. The reason why I think that is because if those edges were a 9 or above, this would have definitely broken the 2,000 mark. It probably would have gone up to 2,400. Reason why I think that is because a T17 first edition BGS 9.5 sold for $4,150, like 5 minutes after this. And a 9.5, it had 9.5 centerings and edges, and a 10 for the corners, and a 9 for the surface. But the top 4 bids on that are $2,100, $3,333, $4,100, and $4,150. It's a record price point for the 9. I think that's a little undervalued, considering that that guy John from E4, he had offered $17,000 for that first edition PSA 10, and nobody took him up on it. Absolutely nobody is to be like, oh yeah, I'll take that. So this, in my opinion, should be a little bit higher. I think the 9 should be higher, so the 9.5 should definitely be higher. So I digress. Dark Alakazam first edition PSA 9 sold for $193. A Dark Charizard first edition PSA 9 record price point. Top 5 bids were $800, $805, $815, $950, and $960. It's a record price point, not to where the $1,000 where I think it should be at some point. Because this has moved a couple $100, whereas a month ago you were still seeing Dark Charizard's first edition PSA 9 sell for in the $600 range. You know, a lot were $700, but some would still sell for $600. So I honestly, now there's 1,100 of these first edition PSA 9s. There's 400 something PSA 10s, but because the 9s are climbing, you are going to see the 10s climb. Promise you. By the end of the year, they're going to climb to well over $3,000. Dark Dog Trio first edition PSA 9 sold for $148. Dark Hypno first edition PSA 9 sold for $143. Espeon Neo Discovery first edition PSA 9 top 5 bids were $580, $670, $670, and $680. So the minimum we're looking at the 10 is going to be $2,040, and the top would be, well, I didn't need the calculator for that, $6,800. But most likely what we're going to find is it's going to be between $3,400 and $5,400. Now, because there's only 75 PSA 10 copies, there's an evolution, and there's 201 PSA 9 copies. People are going to get the PSA 9s. It's not that uncommon. But with 75 PSA 10 copies and it being an evolution, they're very, very hard. There's only one on eBay right now. It's $4,000 or best offer. The only reason you saw one on Instagram for $2,500 is because that person needed money, because that was eaten up in like a day. I'm not sure what that person that has it for $4,000 is going to take on it as far as best offer, but it's definitely going to be more than $2,500. So Houndoom Neo Discovery first edition PSA 9 sold for $255. Wobbuffet first edition PSA 9 sold for $103. And a Gold Star Gyarados Japanese PSA 10 sold for $810. That's it for me today, hey guys. Best of luck. I have a bid on my on something else. I forget what it is right now. I'll keep you guys posted. I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, bye.